Do real estate agents hate investors, and do investors hate agents? We're gonna address this in detail, guys, because yes, I like to cause controversy, and the answer to this question is 100% true. They do hate each other. A lot of times this is the case. Now, a lot of times it's not as well, because some do both, which is how it should be. Full disclosure, I'm a full-time real estate investor as well as a full-time real estate agent, and I run a team of hundreds of real estate agents, so I'm credible to speak on both sides, and I understand the frustration you guys feel. In this video, I'm gonna share 3 reasons why an investor might hate an agent, and 3 reasons why an agent might hate an investor. And I'm gonna give you a perspective to answer this question from a young man. I'm getting into business. Which one should I be? Investor, agent? Seems so confusing. I don't know which direction to go. Which one's more respected? Which one makes more money? Which one's harder to do? We're gonna kind of address all these as we go through. So the first thing I want to point out, guys, is why an agent might just not like an investor, okay? Let's say I'm in a neighborhood like I am right now, in this nice house behind me, right here. The seller wants to sell the house, so she reaches out and calls Susan. Susan's a hard-working young woman, as she should be, and she cares for her family, and she loves her family, and she wants to do a good job and sell a house for a big commission. $500K, not a bad commission. 3% on that is what most agents get. But what happens when I'm an evil, dirty snake in the grass, one of those evil investors, and I come up to the property and I make Susan an offer for her to submit to her client for $350,000? Do you think that she's gonna be excited about my offer? Looks like we got some come by. Nice dog there. And so what's gonna happen is she's gonna have to take that offer to that client. Now think about this. If that seller went into an agreement with Susan to sell the house for $500,000, and now you're getting an offer for $350,000, do you think the seller or the client's gonna be excited? That agent has to take the offer to them. Now, why do you think that agent might not like me? We're coming from different perspectives. My goal as an investor is to get the price as low as possible. The agent's goal is to get it as high as possible, bigger commission, and to help that homeowner get the best outcome for themselves too. Believe it or not, guys, there are some real estate agents that do care about their clients and want them to win. Now, there are some reasons that on a selfish perspective for the agent, what happens is the client might not be happy with them and may not refer them to future clients, friends and family. That's a big concern. The other concern is they may not get as big a commission. So it's not good all the way around. They're fighting over different sides of polarity. One wants it high, one wants it low, and you can see where it's a controversy. Now here's a second reason why agents and investors might not like each other from an agent perspective. They spend time and money going to get a real estate license. And what happens is they get a license and they also get an ego with it. Happens from time to time. You know, they did work hard. They went out there and put tens of hours, literally tens of hours to get that license. Guys, I'm just ragging on you. I'm also a real estate agent, don't blast me. Now, I get it. So they come across an investor who's been investing for 30 years, done thousands of deals, but they just got their license. They spent tens of hours, less time to get their haircutting license. I'm just kidding, guys. You can see where I'm kind of slided towards. But let's say a house is a french fry, and an agent and investor are both pigeons, and I throw that french fry in between those 2 pigeons. One pigeon loves their family, wants to provide for their family, as they should. But that other pigeon loves their family too. There can only be one winner. In business, that's usually the case. Now, sometimes where scenarios come up where 2 agents can represent on a property or an investor can have an agent representing them. But for this case, let's imagine there is no second place, which is usually how it is in business. Which is probably the reason why so many people are struggling in life, because their top participation makes them money. Doesn't. Makes you broke. So, when I throw that french fry in between these 2 pigeons, they're gonna fight for it. There's a limited inventory in the marketplace. There's only so many investors, there's only so many agents, they all love their family, but some are willing to work harder for their family than others. Learn the skills it takes to do what you're doing right now, watching a channel like this. So they're fighting for the same inventory out of the marketplace. And agents, a lot of times, I see this, it's been throughout my whole career, they have this entitlement belief that they are somehow licensed. Therefore, sellers should be working with them, not investors. Because if I'm an investor, or an investor buys a house that's not an agent and there's no agent representing them, there's a commission off an agent's plate. That's how they see it. So there's another controversy right there. Now, a third reason why agents don't like investors, a lot of this is brokers, I hear it all the time, is investors are a danger to the community. They're trying to rip people off and there's no protection for the families, as if that broker really cares. A lot of them don't, guys, but some of them are great. But it's usually the ones that don't care that are really upset about this because they're greedy, let's be honest. But this is a big concern. What's going on right now? There's a big battle. Should wholesaling be illegal or not? In fact, I have a 4-part series probably gonna put out here soon, breaking this down in detail. As you guys saw the laws change in Illinois, this is gonna continue to happen. Think about what happens when a wholesaler new in the business watches a channel on YouTube, thinks they're a superstar, goes out there and contracts the house going into foreclosure. That homeowner has $100,000 in equity. They fail to close, the house gets lost in foreclosure, their life gets destroyed. What happens if this homeowner right here behind me has a house with 100 grand in equity and they're buying their dream home out of state, they have to move for school start, and they need the equity out of this house from the first closing to close on the next closing? Then this wholesaler backs out, they don't get the house sold, they can't take that money to the next closing, the deals fall apart, they lose their earnest money. So there's a lot of nasty nightmares. And so agents and brokers specifically think investors are ripping people off, screwing people out there, guys, and it's just not the case. Some of them are just incompetent and there are some unethical people, but that's just the world. Get over it. Not everybody wants to ruin your life and screw you and scam you. I promise you, I know a lot of really good investors and the really bad ones. I know a lot of really good agents and really bad ones. Let's flip it around, guys. And let's look at it from the investor perspective and an agent. Let's say an agent contacts me and I have a house to sell because I bought this house right here. I bought it for 300 grand. I put 100 grand in it and now I'm trying to sell for 550,000, which is a pretty typical deal in a lot of markets. Now there's a lot of costs in between, guys. Don't just think that's all profit. That's where a lot of people get caught up. And here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put the house on the market. I'm gonna get a call from Susan. She's trying to change her life. She's gonna contact me, say, Connor, my client loves the house, we want a full price offer. I'm gonna be like, okay, great. Are you intending to close on it at full price, or are you playing any games here? Because what happens is a lot of time, guys, this is important if you're an investor, right now when the market's tough, you don't wanna go under active option contract and come off because it's gonna taint the property in a way. Let's say she comes back, gets an inspection, which they will, and they're gonna have this whole list of concessions, meaning repairs that they want done now, and they come back and say, we need a 25K price reduction, otherwise we can't close. And I'm gonna say tough, right? Go find another house to buy. And it's gonna be this battle between what should be done, what should not be done. Almost every single house ever inspected, probably every single house ever inspected needs some type of concessions done to it or some type of repairs. Not necessarily a concession, but potential concession, but definitely needs some type of repair. Even a brand new house, guys, when they have inspections done, they have things all wrong with it. So if you're an investor looking up, tell the agent, I'm not gonna get beat down with concessions, make an honest offer here because it costs me a lot of money if I have to put the house back on and back off, back on and back off. Carrying costs go up, as well as sometimes you have to reduce the price big time. After that house shows being under active option contract twice, it looks bad. People wanna know what you're hiding. And this could have been just because the person trying to buy the house backed out because the sky was blue. Could be a perfect house, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to reduce the house big time. That's a big reason investors don't like agents. They're always fighting them on concessions, and it can taint the property on the way it looks on a high level view on the MLS. So that's been one of my biggest problems, as well as a lot of flippers' problems with agents. Now here's another one. Investors don't like agents because they don't think like investors. They think off emotion, not off business sense, logic, math, and reason. And I get calls all the time. Like I got a call the other day where a lady's like, hey, I get a message. She's like, hey, Connor, I see you're a big time investor in my marketplace. And I'm like the biggest. I'm just kidding. Sometimes my ego's there. But I'm like, hey, look. Or she's like, hey, look, I got this lovely little bungalow house. It's light blue. You're gonna love the finished house. The kitchen's just amazing and blah, 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 blah. And telling me all about the cosmetic repairs. And I'm like, that's great. How much does it cash flow? What do the numbers look like? Where is the profit center in this deal? And agents think off emotion, guys. Investors think off math. And there's a big disconnect. She kept trying to tell me how nice the house was and how many people are gonna like it. And I'm like, that's great. I don't care if people love the house. I may love the house, but if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense for me. And so this is a big problem where a lot of agents waste investors' time. They contact them with deals that are not deals, and then they try to convince them that it is a deal. And then it's just like, if it's such a great deal, why don't you buy it? Have you ever thought about that as an investor? Well, if it's such a great deal, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, why don't you close on it yourself? Oh, well, I'm not gonna do that. Why not? Because you're gonna lose money. So why are you trying to sell me a house? Because you want a quick commission, because you see investors have a lot of money and you think we buy a lot of houses quick and we pay cash, which we do. So you think you're gonna get a quick commission with little headache, and that's not how it works. So that's another reason they kind of go back and forth. And the last one is this, guys. Because agents go get a license, I see this happen all the time. As soon as they get that little piece of paper on the wall after tens of hours of work to get that license, no, I'm just kidding, guys. You should respect that license and you worked hard for it. But they somehow think they're here in the evolutional hierarchy of the real estate world as compared to an investor. I've literally seen brand new agents talk down to seasoned professionals that have done thousands of deals because they hold a license and that other investor has 30 years in the business. Which one do you think knows more about the business? I have a license from hard work, and out there getting roughed up through what's called street justice. I don't need a piece of paperwork, even though I have one, to tell me who I am or what I am. Just because you have a license does not mean you're a real estate agent, guys. Until you act like and be like and have the success of a real estate agent, you're not a real estate agent. Same thing if you're an investor and you get a new business going and you have a business card and it says CEO on your business card, you're not a CEO yet, bro. I'm not sure what to tell you. You're a CEO of a business card. You don't run nothing. You own nothing, you built nothing. I get it, you're excited to start your business. Not trying to burst your bubble, guys, but these are things that you're gonna come across out there in perspective. Some of y'all are laughing, some of y'all are screaming. I get it. Now here's my perspective on this. Which one's more respected? Which one's on a higher level? Well, without a doubt, an investor is a much more sophisticated real estate professional, hands down. The reason why is there's way more risk, way more liability. You have to take on a lot more different working parts to run a successful business. You have to learn how to raise money. You have to understand tax advantages and all sorts of different strategies. You have to understand low equity deals, high equity deals, creative financing, all sorts of different working parts takes to become a really high level real estate investor. And if you mess up as a real estate investor, you can go bankrupt and have a horrible, horrible outcome. Very few real estate agents go bankrupt. Yeah, they can spend a lot of money on marketing, make some mistakes. But let's say this house right here. Have you ever heard of a real estate agent losing $100,000 on a house? They may lose some time and some marketing money, and their ego gets hurt a little bit. Real estate agents literally take it on the chin. I mean, real estate investors take it on the chin. They can lose 100 grand on a house. Happens all the time. So you have to know a lot more what you're doing. You have to be a lot more careful. You really put your money where your mouth is. You're not just selling someone else's house for commission. You're selling your own house for your life and your family's future. So it's a lot different, guys. Now, my opinion on this is you should be both. You should be an investor and an agent. Be a cat dog. Here's why. Let's say you're just an investor, and this house right here calls you off your motivated seller marketing campaign for whatever reason you're marketing to them. And they say they want $500,000 for the house, and it's worth $500,000. What are you gonna do with that deal? What if they say, I'm willing to just let you list it? Can you list it for me? No, I can't, because I didn't take the time to go through tens of hours of a class to get a license. And if you do, guys, and you wanna work with me, I run a team in multiple states, just contact me through eXp Realty. But that's a 15K commission thrown down the drain. And we only buy about 1 out of 15 houses that comes into our office. So think about that. That's a lot of people that want 100K or 200K for the 200K house or the 100K house. So you're throwing away commissions. Also, if you're an investor and you buy a house, what happens after you buy that house if that person that lived in the house is staying geographically restricted in that same market, upgrading or downsizing? There's a potential commission that you could have on the back end. So there's lots of different ways. I have a video on this channel, guys. 7 reasons why a real estate investor should be a real estate agent. Contact me if you want to work with me. Now, let's look at from the agent side of why they need to be a real estate investor and spend a lot of time learning how to raise money and acquire deals correctly and understand what they're doing. Let's say an agent comes across a property, 50 cents on the dollar, 100K in equity, as is, cash flow $600 a month, but the house is being sold for $100,000. 3K commission or $100,000 difference in equity. Now there's some costs involved, closing costs, carrying costs by the time you get in and finance out, I get it. But think about how much money you're leaving on the table because you didn't learn how to raise money, you didn't understand basic investor skill sets ahead of time. You need to be able to capitalize on both sides of the fence, and both sides should run into the same lake. It should be a river. Different flows of income, guys. So there's different ways to capitalize on both these. So I know this is a long video. I'm giving you a perspective of why agents might not like investors and why investors don't like agents, because they fight over the same inventory. They're on opposite sides of the thought process. You just need to be both, guys. I get it. Sometimes investors think there's extra liabilities being an agent. You have E&O insurance. Do things ethically and honestly and do it the right way, guys, and you're never gonna have a problem. Just do it the right way. If you're gonna be a dishonest scumbag, probably don't get your license because you'll probably lose it. And you really shouldn't be in the industry anyways. So that's my take. Young man, go do both, learn both. Same time, learn how to capitalize on every opportunity. Don't leave money in the cracks. Don't let it sink in the seat cushion. I hope you like the video, guys. Leave a comment below if you have opinions on this. You think I'm an idiot in some way or the other. If you have other reasons why you may not like an investor or you may not like an agent, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, guys. Hit that subscribe button as well. And when that subscribe button's hit, there's a little bell next to it. That's a notification bell. Hit all next to that. So when I post a future video out, you don't miss it. When it pops up, it's gonna let you, it's gonna notify you, and you're gonna know when the next video comes out so I can cause more controversy.